Hey guys, welcome back to Let's Play Rogue Galaxy. Last time, we made our way to the central hub of the Gulza Sanctuary and took the first path toward Yellow. The reason why I ended the episode off here is because I want to try and maintain enough focus around what happens at the end of each of these paths. And in order to do that, we needed more time because, well, this is a trial.
Mommy, why isn't Daddy coming back home?
He has a very important job.
What kind of job?
Well, darling, his job is so complicated, you and I just wouldn't understand.
Chie, Miyoko.
It's late. Go to sleep, Chie.
Aw, already?
Now be good, or Daddy won't come home.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Miyoko. Please forgive me. I'm not the show I used to be. I didn't want you to see the pitiful new me. I'm so ashamed. On that fateful day, the explosion in the research lab, it took my face, and it also took away my humanity. And now, in my disfigured form, well, I could never stand before the two of you again.
Darling, I didn't fall in love with you just for your face, you know.
What? You can hear me?
Your company informed me about the horrible accident. They told me why you might not come back. And after all these years, knowing you the way I do, I know how proud you can be. So I understand why you didn't want to show your disfigured form to us. But we're both still here, and we're waiting. We're waiting for you to come back home and to tell us all about it. Oh, darling.
Miyoko, you see right through me, don't you? You always have been able to, I guess. I've been thinking only about myself. I never once considered how you and Chie felt. And I certainly never thought that the two of you might be waiting for me. I've been such a fool. And a gutless fool at that. Oh, I'm such a coward. I was afraid you'd be disgusted just by the mere sight of me. But for all that, I still love the two of you. That's the truth. Nothing can change how I feel about you both. And no one can ever take that away from me. As soon as this battle's over, I promise I'm coming home. I swear I will. Please, wait for me just a little while longer. Miyoko. Chie. Huh?
As we can see, especially compared to what happened in the previous episode where we got was it the previous episode or the one before? Either way, whenever we got the Drigellum of power? I can't remember what the other one was. We'll see it in the menu in a moment.
What's this?
Show.
Miyoko. The greatest treasure in the universe was right under my nose.
If we weren't talking about how disfigured he was, I would probably be able to make a joke about it being a rather large nose, but I'll refrain. The idea here is that as we progress through each of these areas, we will gain, in this case it was the Drigellum of kindness for Casella, and compassion for Simon. Each of these individual paths will lead to a different cutscene. It's not a chapter of bosses. There's actually no boss in chapter 12. Instead, our characters get these moments of closure and their arc comes to an end. What I'm going to do here, and what you'll see as I go through these, is we'll go through, we'll watch the cutscene, and for the most part, I'll shut up and let the cutscene play. Then I'm gonna go into the editing, run through the path that goes back to the next one, run that through fast forward, and then lay my thoughts about what happened in that particular scene on top of that. This way, I'm not going to be focused on doing two things at the same time, and we'll be able to focus better on analyzing what exactly happened. In this case, we're going to start with Simon. Simon's story, I kind of like the way that they actually handled it. It's kind of well put together, and if you paid attention when we first met Chie and Miyoko in chapter 5, I believe it was. We got to Zerard, we got put into prison, we got taken out of prison, and during those scenes where we first saw them, Simon was there. I think that's one of the only times he is present for one of those scenes. They asked him if Simon has seen her husband Sho, which is Simon's actual name, we've come to determine. He kind of held up a little bit, and that was your indication that, okay, something else is here. Either he is Sho or he knows Sho. And then they did the best thing they could have done, and they kept him out of every single cutscene, at least I think it was every single one, that involved Miyoko and Chie. He stayed away because, one, it was too painful. That's why he left the party as soon as that happened. It was replaced by Steve. It was too painful for him to see what his family was doing and how much of a loss they were without him. So he went back and stayed on the ship, and then he's not there anytime we run into them in the future. I like how they keep him isolated from them because, one, it doesn't give away too much what is actually the case, and two, it emotionally makes sense for the character. I really like how they covered that. They don't hit you over the head with it, which is good. If you're familiar with like other forms of anime and video games, especially Japanese games and anime, you're gonna find that this kind of trope of what happened probably won't get past you. You'll probably figure it out early on. And a few of you guys have in the comments have either posed questions, guessing at it, or basically flat out said that that's what's gonna happen. The downside here is that if you think back to the very start of the game, Simon has zero characterization all game long. He is one of the most dull, boring characters you can imagine. He's bland. There's absolutely nothing there. His entire character basically comes down to an accent, because there's no personal detail that is revealed about this character up until now other than he grew up on Zerard. That's it. It's kind of sad, and oddly enough, that is a trend for a lot of the characters in this game. It would be preferable if they could have fleshed out some of these characters a little bit better. But as we'll see going forward, some of them got a lot better treatment than others, and some of them, they only start to lead down an idea, and then they just stall and stop and we get nothing. And while we went through this entire process, I managed to get through a whole bunch of these weapons. So let's go and make a few more combinations here. We have the Galactic Assault and the Kaiser Legion. And that gives us the Lost Galaxy Prime, ultimate sub-weapon for Digo. Then we have the Genius Fusion and the Piercing Genius. And that gets us the Genius Fusion Prime, which is Jupus's ultimate weapon. And then we use that UFO attack set we got recently and the Dimension Zero Prime. And that gives us the UFO Squadron P Prime. It's too long. Either way, it's Jupus's ultimate sub-weapon. And with that, we have maxed out, I think, all the weapons that we have access to. The only one I believe that we are missing currently is, let's see, yeah, Steve. Steve has the Galaxy Arms. Everyone else has pretty much all max level stuff. Maxed. Yeah, everything else is maxed. And on the green side, we are back on Jerica.
Wait, I remember this.
Lilica! Mary! We have enough now. Let's go back.
But there's still so many of them.
I know there are. But we wouldn't be able to eat them all. Remember, girls, we're not the only ones who live in this jungle. We have to leave some for the others. Do you understand?
Oh. These berries are your favorite, aren't they, Miri? If you want more, I'll give you some of mine. Just forget it. What kind of pig do you think I am? Oh, okay then. Mary! Mommy! Mom, it can't be. Lilica, help me! Lilica!
That's right. That's it. That's exactly what happened. I was so scared. I couldn't move a muscle. I never even stood up to that monster. I twisted my own memories just to avoid facing the truth. That day, I was so scared. So scared. I couldn't do a thing. I didn't have the courage to look death in the eye. I wasn't even brave enough to accept the truth. Not even that. Forgive me, Mother. Mary.
Lilica,
Mother.
Lilica, don't blame yourself. Look how many people you've protected so far. You have become an outstanding warrior. I can't tell you how proud I am of you.
I'm sorry, Mother. I wasn't able to save you. But I'm not about to run anymore. I will fight until the bitter end. What good is a warrior who can't protect what's precious to her?
Lilica, the time has come. You have a strong heart that can accept the truth. Here, take this. It's yours. You've earned it, Lilica.
Mother, is this?
May you become a great warrior, ever triumphant. My daughter, I shall always be watching over you.
Mother.
Normally, when we get the item there, I usually have something to say. My voice caught a little bit. I find that scene works so much better than Simon's does. And part of that is due to Lilica's character just feeling more fleshed out. She had more characterization during the initial scenes when we got her, and then she grew more over the course of the game. Not a lot more, mind you, but she definitely grew more. There's one aspect of the scene that misses the mark, and it's definitely not the voice acting, because that is fantastic there. For me, a lot of the time, the emotional significance of a scene is very much tied to the auditory, the music, and the voice acting. I hear those, and those connect with me a lot better than other things. Like, I can get emotionally invested in like a novel or like a video game that's text only as well, but the auditory does a lot for me that other things can't. And so hearing those here, the combination works so well. The problem that I had with this during my test run was it had been so long since we saw the original scenes, I wasn't exactly sure what was going on. In the original version that Lilica told us, she stood up to the monster and tried to protect her sister but wasn't able to. But what we found out now is that she had basically convinced herself that she did that, even though she never did. And the fact that she was too afraid to act in the past, and in chapter 3 when we got her, she was too afraid to act out in order to save her sister without the party's prodding. The echo of the pain that she felt back in the past versus what she experienced again when we picked her up is beautiful writing. I don't have a lot of bad things to say about that scene because it's so well done. Lilica's character arc kind of balloons into this figure that is more of an advisor to the party, or at least to Kisala and to Jaster, as they are the younger kind of characters here. Not that Lilica is old, she's just, I get the feeling that she's late 20s and Jaster, Kisala are kind of early 20s. That's just kind of the sense that I get from them in terms of the maturity of the characters and how they react in scenes. What their actual ages are usually doesn't matter. It's how they act, because it's JRPGs. They have 6-year-olds that act like they're, 400. You can't go by the canonical ages to determine how the characters should react. It's how they actually react, and you work from there. But yeah, Lilica's character flaw works really well here. I have nothing really bad to say about this scene. Hers kind of resonates a lot more strongly with me than a lot of the other characters in this game. I find that she's kind of a really good character. I wish they gave her more time overall. They don't give her enough time to really flesh the character out, but what they've started to do here is really well done, and I have nothing but good things to say about her character. And with that, I have completely screwed over my timer for this episode, and I have no idea what my time is at. So I'm going to call her a day right here. I don't know if this is going to be a regular length episode or a long one or a short one. I think it's on the shorter side, but I don't know. And yeah. Anyway, next time we will continue on into Sky Blue, and we will continue from there as we continue to have little arcs resolve for our characters, and then I analyze them to death. That's all for this one. And I'll see you guys next time.